Good day. So, our topic for today is entitled Banking and Financial Institution in Midterm Learning Materials. By the way, I am Alajan Tern Sabagat, your first reporter in this discussion. So, this learning materials covers the following aspects. First is the commercial banks, second is the thrift banks, and third and the last one is the rural banks. So, later on, we're gonna tackle this all about. So what is commercial bank? So commercial bank is a financial institution which functions, accepts deposits. So through these deposits, it offers loans for investment, especially for business owners and entrepreneurs. That so that they can earn profit. Then samples of commercial bank is Land Bank of the Philippines, Metro Bank, China Bank, and many more. So next is the functions of commercial bank. So there are two main distinct functions of commercial bank. First is the borrowing and lending. So the functions of commercial bank has two main categories. First is the primary function and second is the secondary function. Primary function, it accepts deposits. So commercial bank accept deposits in form of current, savings, and fixed deposits. Second is it gives loans and advances. Commercial banks gives loans and advances, particularly in businessmen and entrepreneurs so that they can earn profit. Under deposits, there are three types of it. First is the current account deposit. So this type of deposit is payable on demand or also called as demand deposits. Second is fixed deposits. So fixed deposits have a fixed period of maturity or also called as time deposits. Then third is saving account deposits. From the word itself, saving, so the main purpose of this deposit is to save. And now let's discuss about the difference between demand deposits and term or time deposits. So the two traditional forms of deposits are demand deposits and term or time deposits. So let's tackle first its first difference. So first is deposits which can be withdrawn by depositors are called demand deposits. As I've said earlier, current account deposits are called demand deposits because they are payable on demand. But saving account deposits do not qualify because of certain conditions on withdrawal. No interest is paid on them. Term deposits, also called as time deposits, are deposits which can payable only after the expiry of specified period. Second is demand deposits do not carry interest, whereas time deposits carry a fixed rate of interest. Third is demand deposits are highly liquid, whereas time deposits are less liquid. Then the last is demand deposits are checkable, then whereas time deposits are not. So next is it gives loan and advances. So under these functions, there are four types of it. First is cash credit. So if you're an eligible borrower, the commercial bank will issue you a cash credit. So you only allowed to withdraw a specific amount on a given security. Next is demand loan. So in demand loan, stated there is no stated maturity, or in other terms, there are no time allotted. Thus, the entire loan amount is paid in lump sum by crediting it to the loan account of the borrower. Third is short-term loans. So, short-term loans are given against some security as personal loans to finance working capital or priority sector advances. So, the entire amount is repaid either in one installment or in a number of installments over the period of loan. Last is investment. So commercial banks invest their surplus found in three types of securities. First is government securities. Second is other approved securities and other securities. Then banks will earn interest in these securities.
So good morning everyone, especially to you sir, good morning. I'm the second reporter for this group. My topic is all about secondary function. First topic is discounting of bills, exchange or vandal. A promise to pay and fixed amount of money at a specific point of time in the future. Second is overdraft facility. Advance given by allowing a customer keeping current account to overdraw her current account up to an agreed limit. Difference between overdraft facility and loan. First is overdraft is made without security in current account, but loans are given agent security. Second is, in this case of loan, the borrower has to pay interest on full amount sanctioned, but in case of overdraft, the borrower is given the facility of borrowing only as much as he requires. Third is, whereas the borrower of loan pays interest on amount outstanding against his, but customer of overdraft pays interest of the daily balance. Agency function of the bank. The bank acts as an agent of its customers and gets commission for performing agency. Function as under: first is transfer of funds, second is collection of funds, third is payments of various items, fourth is purchase and sale of shares and securities. Next is collection of dividends, interest and shares, and debentures is made on behalf of its customers. Acts the trustee and executor of property of its customer on advice of its customers. Last is letters of preferences. Performing generally utility services. The banks provide many general utility services, some of which are under. First is traveler cheques. Second is locker facility. Third is underwriting securities issued by government, public or private bodies. Last is purchase and sale of foreign exchange currency.
Money creation by commercial banks is determined by two factors: primary deposits and legal reserve ratio. Minimum ratio of deposits is legally compulsory for the commercial banks to keep as cash in liquid form. Broadly, when a bank receives cash deposits from the public, it keeps a fraction of deposits as cash reserve, uses the remaining amount of giving loans. In the process of lending money, banks are able to credit through secondary deposits many times more than initial deposits. For example, H deposits 2,000 rupees with a bank and the legal reserve ratio is 10%. So therefore, 2,000 minus 10% is equals to 1,800 rupees, and the remaining amount is 1,800 rupees. Say Y, who is actually not given loan but only demand deposit account, is opened in his name and the amount is credited to his account. This is the first round of credit creation in the form of secondary deposits, which is equals to 90% of primary deposit. Again, 10% of Y's deposits is kept by the bank as reserve, and the balance 1,620 rupees is advanced to CG. The bank gets new demand deposit of 1,620 rupees. This is second round of credit creation, which will be 90% of second round of 1,620 rupees. The process of credit creation goes on continuously till derivative deposit becomes zero. In the end, volume of the total credit created in this way becomes multiple of any deposit. The quantitative outcome is called money multiplier. If the bank succeeds in creating total credit of say 80,000 rupees, it means bank has credit 9 times of primary deposit of 2,000 rupees. This is what meant by creation. In short, money for credit creation by commercial bank is determined by amount of initial deposit, and the multiple is called credit creation or money multiplier. Types of commercial banks. There are two types of commercial banks, scheduled banks and non-scheduled banks. Scheduled banks are those banks which are included in the schedule of Reserve Bank of India. A scheduled bank must have a paid-up capital and reserves of at least 5 rupees. There are three sectors of scheduled banks. First, public sector banks. There are Sumi and subsidiaries other nationalist banks. Second, private sector banks. Example of private sector bank in India, Bank of Baroda and Catholic Syrian Bank. But in the Philippines are rural bank. And last one is the foreign banks. Generally refers to any United States operation of a banking organizations headquartered outside of the U.S. Non-scheduled banks. The banks which are not included in the schedule of RBI are known as non-scheduled banks. A non-scheduled bank has a paid-up capital and reserve of less than 5 rupees. The following points highlights the significance of commercial banks. First, they promote savings and accelerate the rate of capital formation. Second, they are source of finance and credit for trade and industry. Third, they promote balanced regional development by opening branches in backward areas. Fourth, bank credit enables entrepreneurs to innovate and invest, which accelerates the process of economic development. Fifth, they help in promoting large-scale production and growth of priority sectors such as agriculture, small-scale industry, retail, trade, and export. Six, they create credit in the same that they are able to give more loans and advance than the cash position of the depositors permits. 7. They help commerce and industry to expand their field of operation. 8. Thus leaving optimum utilization of resources possible.
Good day, everyone. My name is Angelica Filasol, one of the Group 2 members. Now let's proceed to the next topic. Thrift Bank. Now what is Thrift Bank? Thrift Bank is also known as Savings and Loan Association. It is a form of financial institution that provide basic banking services by offering a variety of savings option and mortgage loan services. And just like commercial bank, these two qualify as a depository institution and may even provide a range of products and services. Thrift Bank specializes in offering savings account and mortgages loan for its clients or customers. However, in the early years, Thrift Bank offers time deposit and savings account, which means they can only withdraw after the maturity of the specified fixed period, and the bank restricted its customers and only allowed 5 or 4 checks every month. But with the change of customers' behaviors and preferences, needs, and expectation, these banks offers various products and services from commercial banking and credit union. Now, what is the function of Thrift Bank? First, the purpose is to accept deposit and provide mortgage loan to its customers to relieve monopoly stress. Second, they have a higher interest in savings. That's why not many customers are interested in mortgage loans. Third, the bank offers mortgage loans facilities to its clients, allowing them to make savings from time to time. The bank also focuses on mortgage and lending markets to be not monopolized by domestic or foreign banking institutions. Fourth, the bank offers lower interest of mortgage loans and has a higher interest in saving account because they operate for the best interest and that benefit the local people. Now let's proceed to the types of thrift bank. First is savings bank. This bank generates funds from selling savings to customers and investing in mortgage loans. The second is private development bank. These banks are formed to support government policies. They also assist the economic development through loans. Third is stock savings and loan associations. A locally or privately managed financial banking institution that takes long-term deposits to provide amortized home loans.
A pleasant day to everyone. As seen in our virtual screen is no other than Yusuma Darby of 2 Fm3, and I'll be the continuing reporter from our group. This is a midterm coverage. I'll be discussing and even reporting about the thrift bank. So my topic will only evolves to the examples of thrift bank and what is the differentiation about thrift bank and the commercial bank. So first, let's talk about examples of thrift bank. So this thrift bank has been manifested and even here in our locality, here in Tandag City, we can see that this thrift bank is being disseminated. So let's call them one by one. So member of thrift bank are Allied Saving Bank, so City Saving Bank, Business and Consumer Bank, City State Saving Bank Incorporated, Bank One Saving and Trust Corporation, Legazpi Saving Bank Incorporated, Luzon Development Bank, Dumaguete City Development Bank, AIB Saving Bank Incorporated. So in addition with this, there's also a bank called LBC Development Bank, Lemonade Saving and Loan Bank Incorporated, Calderiera Saving Bank Incorporated, Sampaguita Saving Bank Incorporated, GSIS Bank, Family Bank, Liberty Saving Bank Incorporated, BDO Elite Saving Bank Incorporated, Asia Development Bank, ISLE Bank Incorporated, and last but not the least is the Life Saving Bank Incorporated. So at this juncture, let us tackle about the thrift bank versus the commercial bank. So these two banks are being generated by money. They have the same some in common because they've been monopolized by people, but there are some instances that they don't have and they differ in some. So to be broadly discuss this one, let's further collaborate. So thrift bank and commercial bank are totally different from one another, even though the former now offers similar line of services to that of commercial banking institution and credit union. So these two, commercial bank and the thrift bank, they have this same line of business because they offer money for loan. They also offer loan to gain some interest, and they also invest or even let people borrow their money, and in some years from now or from the day of day of borrow, then there is some interest to be added to the mother cash being borrowed. So let's tackle or talk about commercial bank, what it is and what does it goes. So commercial bank are profit oriented. So this bank is um, aiming for the maximization of the wealth of its shareholders. So that is, they operate mainly to earn profits. So the profits of an investment is to gain money, to invest money and to make that money even bigger and more higher. And this bank don't need to maintain asset class. So, and it's number two, the shareholders mostly own commercial banking institution, and as a result of this reason, this bank function with an objective to earn more and more profits so that they can successfully maximize the profit of the shareholders. So as what I have mentioned above, that recently rather, the main objective of this commercial bank is to uplift their members. The member or the people were investing their money in that bank. Then the main goal of this bank is to make that money more or even bigger. So, and number three, the state and federal law determine the powers of commercial bank. Commercial bank, and number four, commercial bank operates under the FRS or the Federal Reserve System, and such banking institution procures deposit insurance from FDIC or the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. This FRS or the Federal Reserve System is a central banking system in America. It is a benchmark here in the country. So, on the other hand, let's talk about this tip bank. So, what it is. So, tip bank are such type of banking institutions that are way different from commercial bank when it comes to goal and objectives, and similar only in the case of offering products and services. So, this tip bank is not on profit oriented, but this goal is to make their members flip or alleviate from their sufferings, from their poverty. So, tip bank, unlike commercial bank, are not profit oriented. It is mandatory for the trip to be a member of FHLBS or Federal Home Loan Bank System. And its other subtopic, it also said that it emphasizes more on assets that are related to housing. Unlike commercial banks, this offers loans at a lower interest rate and offer higher returns on savings to their customers. So, this trip bank related to housing, such like in Pag-ibig, it is a government agency or government-owned corporation or agency, agency, that its main goal is for housing, that when the people who were invested in their money to that account or to that bank, then as an assurance that if that people, that person rather, fully fulfill their payments, their obligation, that then the government will give that house and lot to that person as result of their investment. So this is it's government system for insurances, that whenever the government employee retired from their service for being a public servant, then at their pension at the age of their 60, then they will receive some benefits and compensation from the government as the payback of their sacrifices of their service. So, state bank also are not profit oriented, rather local people oriented. This bank functions with the purpose of assisting the local people with saving and loan facilities. So, this local bank, a trip bank rather, is very affordable and reachable even to the poor or the peasant one. So that's not only for wealthy person, but It also assures those in a low level the status quo of life to uplift from their poverty through savings. So that's all po. Thank you. I do think that it would end my report. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Bali Alsati and I am here to discuss the Rural Bank. Rural banking traditionally has serviced the financial needs of people living in the remote areas of the United States, unlike banks located in more populous urban areas. So, rural banking, they have traditionally serviced to help other people financially, and it is located in the well-developed town like municipality, and unlike in urban banks, it is located to the cities. Rural banks may have relatively small and specialized customers bases spread over a far greater geographical area. So, rural bank catered in a small amount of customer. Technically, it is called rural. For example, include banks with an agricultural focus or the serving a small rural community. Rural banking service. People living in rural areas needs the same banking services as those living in the larger towns and cities. So, people that lives in rural area needs also to have the same service as in the populous area in the cities. For example, to borrow some money, loans, invest, and etc. A community bank in a rural area might offer regular retail banking services, including loans and mortgages that let personal and business customers manage their banking needs close to home. So, rural banks gives a marginalized group of opportunity to avail their service despite that they live in a rural areas. Still, there's a bank that offers services such as loans, mortgages, and etc.
Good day everyone, I am Dorina M. Quadra and this is the continuation of rural banking topics. So now, let's proceed the rural banking performance. The performance of rural banking are less likely a default than those made by urban banks of a comparable size. According to a 2018 report delivered Federal Reserve System Board, many report banks also build better long-term and the relationship with their customer, creating social capital within small communities. In addition, may develop a detailed understanding of local business conditions. Next, let's proceed the rural banking issue. As a rural banking areas lost resident small town, deserve or big cities. Rural bank also infected declining customer number can affect the bank's financial performance because there is less need for credit and deposit services. Rural banks in 21st century, they must compete against large banks as well online bank. So they needs to give customer remote access to service and they need to remove for face-to-face transaction at local rural banks branches. Also, rural banks has adapting a new technology as a modern industry trend by expanding their technology and services. That's all. Thank you.
Impact in the community. One overlooked aspect of rural banking is the bank's role in the community. Unlike non-local banks, rural banks are deeply embedded in the life of the communities they serve. Loan applicants are friends and neighbors, not just numbers on a page. Local banks sponsor sports teams, local charities, and scout troops, and buy advertisements in local venues. All of these things contribute to the life and health of the community. Bankers provide the capital that is essential to the long-term growth of business. The bank can lead money to the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs create jobs and new opportunities to build wealth in the community. Rural banks can also provide capital to boost the agriculture activities and empower them by helping farmers and fishermen through their stages of protection. The role of rural banks is providing financial system also helps people cultivate the habit of savings and provides safe custody. Rural banks are not just giving financial means to Filipinos, but providing the necessary monetary aid for them to do their work better.